Good morning, guys. I told him to play Eye of the Tiger or something to really psych you guys up, but it didn't happen. So, as she said, my name is Ryan Freeman. If you don't know me, I'm on the leadership team here. And as a part of being on that team, David asked me to talk about the Building Restoration Fund and kind of what we're doing. So, to give you a little bit about that, I want to tell you kind of about my family's history and how we ended up here at Hamilton Life. So, I grew up in Nashville, or just north of Nashville. My family started going to a church named Long Hollow when I was probably 5 or 6. It's the church I got saved in. It's the church I got baptized in. It's the church where I went to Disciple Now events, went to church camp, everything. It was my church home. And when I went off to college, never quite found a church home to replace it, but I had a group on campus, Campus Crusade for Christ, that kind of filled that hole. It was accountability, mentorship, discipleship, Christian community, things like that. Right after I graduated, my wife and I, we got married right after college. She was actually still in college, but we moved back to Nashville, ended up back at my home church. And that was kind of where we were for a while. And then 8 years ago, we moved down to Atlanta. And we were there for 3 years, and that for me was the most unchurched time in my life. We went to a lot of different churches trying to find where we could fit in. We went to big churches, small churches, and never quite found our spot. We ended up at Louis Giglio's church down there called Passion, which was great. The sermons were fantastic. The music was always about an octave higher than I could sing. But it was not a place where we were plugged in. We were very anonymous there. We were just kind of a face in the crowd on Sunday mornings. So when we moved to Chattanooga 5 years ago, we wanted something totally different. And as it happens, we had kind of a tangential connection here. Bear with me. The sister of the best friend of my wife's brother, who's like 10 years younger than us, was a student at UTC and attended Hamilton Life. Her name's Molly Klein. And some of you probably know Molly or knew her. She's in California, so we don't talk about her anymore. We invited her over to our house kind of through this connection to have dinner with us one night. And like any good college student, she kept coming week after week for free food. And she told us about Hamilton Life. And it was one of the churches we hadn't tried here yet. And so fast forward, we'd been here about 7 months. I was off in Montana for a trial for a month. And my wife came here with Molly. And we would talk all the time because I was, 1,000 miles away. And she started telling me about the church. She said, "You're going to love it." She said, "The worship is great." She said, "Pastor has a beard, and you have a beard. He loves coffee, and you love coffee." Of course, he's given up coffee now, which doesn't feel like a personal attack at all. But she told me all about the place. And when I came back, shaved my beard immediately because it had been growing for about 8 months. And we came here, and it did not take long before this place felt like a church home. And for me, it was really the first church home I'd had since I was a kid. And it's been this place of support and fellowship. We've had 2 kids since we lived in Chattanooga, and this church has come behind us in that. They have provided us and filled that hole in our lives. And it really is our church home. And just like the homes that we live in, just like the home that I live in, which is 110 years old, it needs maintenance. It needs investment. It needs commitment. And that's really what the whole Building Restoration Fund is about. You guys have heard about a lot of the details, and so I'm not going to go into them. I'm really happy to stand in front of you this morning and tell you that the roof that we can hear the beautiful rain on right now is fully paid for at this point through your giving, and it's been fully funded. We've got other projects. We've got the exterior of this building. We've got the exterior of the building next to us where the offices are, and a number of other things on the horizon. And I would encourage you to consider what you could give to this fund, because I want you to think of this place like I do, as your home away from home, as your church home. And when people come here, when they visit, I want them to feel the way that I did when I came here, and to feel that it is their home, a place where they can fit in, and a place that can meet that need in their lives for fellowship and for all the things that this church offers for us. So my family, we've prayed about it, and we are giving above and beyond our tithes to this, and I encourage you to do the same thing. So I'll turn it back over to Janet.